Welcome to part 9 of our winter adventure. After 3 awesome days and nights at Polentswa, we finally began our last full day in the Polentswa region. We woke up after a lovely third night and did our usual morning routine, making coffee, and made our way to the Polentswa waterhole. We were greeted with the most incredible sighting of a rainbow mist, is the best way to describe it, with the lighting within the clouds, the low clouds on that particular morning created this beautiful mist that reflected a rainbow. I'm not sure our pictures do the experience justice, but I'm glad I was able to at least capture it.
Well, on our way there, we came across a beautiful male lion walking in the road towards us. We were fortunate enough to get a couple of snapshots of him walking towards us before he decided to make his way onto the riverbed.
This particular male was definitely walking with purpose, and we had made the presumption that he was eventually going to make his way to the waterhole that we had just passed on our way to Lairs Dry. Having driven towards the lion, we had already seen a number of springbok herds and wildebeest herds en route, so we thought it would be quite a fun experience to really follow him and just see if anything happens or if there's any interactions with this lion and the herds that we had seen from Polentswa up towards Lairs Dry, although we hadn't quite reached that yet.
We stayed with him for quite a while he was walking, because it was a fair distance from the Polentswa waterhole. And we came across a couple of wildebeest who at first stopped and stared at him. And then all of a sudden, collectively sprinted away as fast as they could, which kicked up a heck of a lot of dust. So that was really nice to capture.
It's always a fun experience to watch the wildlife interact with each other, especially when it's a predator, and seeing these interactions and photographing them, knowing that anything could happen at any time, does always give you a little bit of a thrill. Unfortunately, he was clearly on a mission to get to the waterhole and wasn't paying very much attention towards the herds of springbok and wildebeest. Nonetheless, we took great advantage and took quite a number of photos that we will share. I hope you do enjoy them. We certainly do enjoy seeing the slideshows. Again, Jay and I have a very healthy competition about who gets the best shots.
We decided to head towards the Polentswa waterhole so that we could get a couple of pictures of him walking towards us. And at this point, the light just peeked over the clouds, and it was absolutely amazing. This moment reminded me of our first ever lion sighting in the wild, which was in Polentswa about 20 years ago. He did not stay long. He drank for a good couple of minutes and then decided to make his way off. So I think in total we probably spent a good hour with this lion on this morning. we were so enthralled and happy when we found out that we eventually got 4 nights at Polentswa camp. Weren't too happy that we needed to move from campsite 2 after 3 nights to campsite 1 for 1 night, because it's quite a big setup, and it's quite a bit of effort to set up everything for 1 night. However, on the 3rd day, when we discovered that there was a snake in the toilet, we packed up very quickly the next day and decided to make the trek down to camp 1, which was lower down, which was actually quite nice. We packed up our green windshield and obviously all the chairs and tables and all the loose stuff around camp. We folded the tent on top of the trailer, but we didn't put the actual cover on. We got Kaylin, my daughter, I think Joshua as well, to sit on top, just to keep it down. And I pretty much just towed it down to camp 1 with them on top. And they thought that was quite fun.
All of the 3 camps at Polentswa are quite fabulous. Campsite 1 we found to be much more open and the ground is a lot more level. So for those who prefer that, it certainly is great in that regard. I enjoyed campsite 2 very much, obviously except for the snake. But the campsite itself, I enjoyed being on a higher level and being able to overlook the valley and overlook the other campsites, because it does make me feel a bit safer. However, I really did enjoy campsite 1 for its openness. You have this feeling of vastness when you're down there overlooking the pan. We didn't set up everything knowing that we were going to be driving from Polentswa down to 2 Rivers the next day, and we had already started packing away all the little things and getting all the things together for the trip home, really, knowing that there was only 1 more night left. The kids continued playing with their summer melons around camp, and we just enjoyed our last braai and our last Polentswa sunset. So we did try and book Polentswa again now recently for next year, but unfortunately we were too late in that booking and we did not get any nights at Polentswa. However, our next year's winter trip will be officially in Mabuya Sahube. So that's something to look forward to. So next week is our last episode in the series at part 10. It will incorporate our last day trip down to 2 Rivers as well as our last night at 2 Rivers and all the wonderful sightings we had in that last night. So for the last time in this series, we'll see you next week.